Members, this is Geoff Watson. I am from Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada, but right now I am speaking to you thanks to the verbling.com website and Google Hangouts technology. I am speaking to you from South America, from Chile, and I live in their capital city, Santiago. So verbling.com is growing. We are going to be starting to teach some other languages. We already have English and Spanish teachers on duty, and we are going to be getting a lot more members joining every day. So think about getting that premium access to the classes, because verbling.com is growing more and more. It's going to be the best place in the world to learn a second language. Now, warning, I'm sorry, the content of this class is kind of advanced. So we are going to be dealing with some advanced materials, but with a positive attitude, you will be able to read the text, understand the text, and then we are going to listen to not the exact transcript, but to a radio program produced by National Public Radio, one of the very famous public broadcasters in the United States. And so everyone needs, please, to download the document. You can find the document at verbling.com. Look for the information for this class. Actually, where you click on the green button, just underneath there is a link for the class materials. It's called GWF 18. And as I said, there is some written text. There is the transcript for the audio portion, and we can work from there. And so, hey, I'm glad that Mine is here, because we are going to be talking about the United States, the homeless situation in the United States. There are some changes predicted to take place with that situation, in that the people who have been living on the streets, the homeless people in the United States, are growing older, and living on the streets, being homeless, is very difficult. And so these young people, relatively young people, have aged a lot from their time on the streets and are starting to have medical problems that are typically seen in older people. And so a sad situation that needs to be dealt with. All right, and so let's get started, because we have lots of material to cover. And so I'd like to say hello to Christoph. Hello.
Hello, Geoff. Hi.
How are you?
I'm fine.
Yes, it's been a while. Great. Yeah. And so what is the homeless situation in your country? And is your government or the communities, cities or states doing anything positive or progressive to help people?
I think, yeah, we call it SDF, without, yeah, exactly, homeless.
Yes, so, homeless. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it is. I think it become like increasing a little bit.
Right, because of economic problems.
Yeah, exactly. So it's a real issue.
Okay, all right, and let's move on. Hello, Juan. Welcome. Now I've been muting your microphone. You need to
Right.
turn on and turn off your
Right.
microphone each time.
Right.
With the Google Hangout, you don't hear the sound that's coming from your microphone, but we can. So just everybody needs to keep their microphone muted because, again, you will not know when you're making noise. So go ahead, Juan. Where are you connecting from, and what is the homeless situation where you live?
I am from Santa Marta, Colombia,
Mhm.
and oh, this the government is improving different methods to
Mhm.
help this kind of people, but is it a really hard? It is a really hard
Yeah.
to change some stuff
Yes.
because I am studying psychology, right?
Yes.
And sometimes I talk with these people,
Good.
and they say someone tell me that the only thing that they need to improve his life is get some study stuff, education.
Some education. Okay. Some
Yeah,
training or education. All right.
yeah,
Well, no, but that's well. I'll stop you there because we want to go through an introduction. But providing job training for somebody who's on the street is really great. So that's one possible solution for some people. Good.
yep.
Luis, hello. We're talking about homeless people, people who are living on the streets, and so how is the situation where you live, and is your country or community doing anything positive to help these people?
Hi Geoff, hi everyone. Yes, in Brazil there are many poor people, many homeless. I can speak about Rio. In Rio, there are many homeless, especially in downtown place
Mhm.
here in Rio. And I hear about a special government program, is a health program to help these these people, but I haven't seen working in Rio yet.
Okay.
And
Mhm.
we have many philanthropic institutions helping these people, give food, give clothes,
Right.
this kind of
Mhm.
things.
Yeah, and philanthropic is a fairly, let me see, advanced word, let's say, in English. So we usually say charity groups or charity
Oh,
organizations.
okay.
But great, it's a word and people will understand. But in
There
conversational
isn't
English, yeah, we
there
usually
isn't
talk
this
about
word,
oh,
but
so, sorry, philanthropic or
there isn't
yes,
this word.
no, yes, it
There
exists.
is. Ah,
Yes,
okay.
definitely. But it's an advanced word. And so my point is
Ah, okay.
usually in conversations, people will use the word charity, charity organizations, charity groups, this kind of thing. Yeah.
Okay.
All right, great. And Mine, hello.
Hello. Um, I think America economic crisis is increased, and that is why homeless people population are increased
Yeah.
and
Is increasing
is
or
increasing.
yeah, mm-hmm.
Um, I remember when I visit New York City, and it's like a midnight. A lot of people. Um, a lot of people live on the street, and that is really strange because the weather was so cold. They just have a what is it called, the sleeping cover
Bag, a
bag.
sleeping bag
Yeah,
or a
sleeping
blanket.
bag. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
sleeping bag, and it was really worse situation for them. And also in America, people donated a lot of money for the charity, any kind of the things. For example, they have a homeless charity. They have a shelter. However, it's not enough, I think so.
Yeah.
In this area where I live, they have also homeless shelter. But the population is enough for the homeless shelter. But the big city has an issue about the homeless.
Yes,
I think so.
absolutely. Yeah. So no, great, and thank you. And some of the story that we're going to read talks about a temperature of 25 degrees, but that's Fahrenheit, and so that's below freezing. And so people are out on the street. Excuse me, people are homeless on the street in freezing cold weather. Very difficult. But thank you. Great. And Oscar, hello, welcome.
Hi, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Where are you connecting from, and what's the homeless situation where you live, and is your community or government doing anything positive to help people?
Yeah, okay. I'm from Colombia. I'm from a city called Neiva. It's in the south of Colombia. The problem about homeless people in Neiva is firstly by the weather, because the weather in Neiva is like 26, 27, 28 degrees. So is homeless people of other cities. It's very easy to come to Neiva and
Okay.
have
Okay.
like a not so hard life, because the weather is a very important point. But the mayor of the city have many programs to try to, I don't know how to say it, try to help to the people and teach some kind of work of I don't know how to say, of job
Yeah.
that
Yes.
people
We say job
make.
training. Job
Yeah,
training.
job training. Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you. Yeah, the mayor has implement so many programs, but it's very difficult. It's very
Yeah.
difficult
Yeah.
because almost the people is homeless about different topics. And one important is about drug addict.
Those are the
So it's very
reasons.
difficult. Yeah, so it's
Some of the
difficult.
reasons. Yeah. No.
Yeah.
Well, the whole world is dealing with this, I'm sure. And we're going to look at the situation in the United States, which is really one of the richest countries in the world. And so, yeah, we have more people, meaning homeless people, because of our climate. Yeah. That's a similar situation in Canada, actually. Vancouver has one of the warmest and mildest climates in Canada by far. And so we get more homeless people in Vancouver. And Christian, hello, welcome. Christian, are you there? Now you need to turn on your microphone. So on the Google Hangout screen, on the screen, at the top right-hand corner, there is an icon of a microphone and a video camera above the Verbling chat box. If you click on that, I think your microphone should start working. Everybody enters the class with their, well, gone. Okay, and so, Wen, how are you? Wen? Nguyen.
Hello. I'm sorry. I'm here.
How are
Yeah,
you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Good.
Hello, teacher. Hello, everyone. My name is Yuen. I'm from Vietnam, and yeah, in my
And
city there are also a lot of homeless people. And as I like, based on my experience, they are mostly the elderly, like old
ah,
people. They don't have
okay.
home, and their children, they are bad and they abandon them.
So
Or
there are abandoned children literally living on the streets?
no.
Oh, sorry.
Like
I
all
understand.
parents are abandoned.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So they always have very sad stories.
Oh, wow.
And the second how can I say, like the second, you may see
Group of people.
people
Yeah.
with
Mhm.
mental
The second
illness.
biggest group. Yes. Okay. Please continue explaining that if you
For
can.
those people who have mental illness, they refuse to go home, so they want to live on the street.
Yeah.
And every time the authorities want to take them away, like get them into a house, they refuse and they come back to the street again.
Right. Okay, so we're dealing with exactly the same problem in Canada, and I know that this is a big issue in the United States too. People with mental illnesses, and they're not necessarily taking the medication that they need to take, and essentially they're choosing to live on the streets, and so they're judged as not being a risk to other people, and so the community allows them to live on the streets. But yeah, okay, excellent, great, thank you. And I wanted to go back to Christian. Now I muted your microphone again, so please turn your microphone on.
Okay, do you want me?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Please go ahead. Where are you connecting from? And we're talking about the homeless situation in our countries.
Okay. Actually, I live in United States, but I'm French, and I speak about the French situation about homeless. And in my country, there is a lot of people live in the street, and I don't speak about the reason on the crisis situation, because a lot of people say that is the crisis situation which is why there is a lot of people live in the street.
The economic crisis?
Yes.
Yes, okay.
I think some people choose to live in the street, and other people is effectively the social problem, and because they don't have enough money to buy and to rent a house, and sometimes they live in the car, and other people live in the street, and other live in the metro station in my country.
Okay.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
When it's very cold outside, the government opened the metro station on the house to
a shelter, an emergency shelter.
Yes. Yes, there is emergency shelter, and also we can these people can eat in because there is the charity organization who takes some food for those people.
Great, thank you. Sorry, I'm going to move on. I'm going to move on,
yes,
but thank you.
fine.
Hello, James. Hello, James.
Yes, I always mute my mic, so it's gonna
No,
take a while.
thank you. And again, everyone needs to keep their microphones muted, so please just practice turning it on and off. But I would like all of the students to participate as much as possible, so please, yeah. Thank you. Go ahead. Where are you connecting from, and what is the homeless people situation where you live?
I'm connecting from Thailand, and my homeless situation, I don't know.
Well, do you see people living in the streets?
Yeah, like sometimes, yeah.
Okay, but maybe it's not a big problem where you live.
Not really.
Okay, all right, well that's good, that's good. Okay, now we've got some difficult materials to get through, and so I need feedback from people, from you, the participants, as to how we are doing, if you understand this material, and I definitely want to read the story, and I would like to play the radio broadcast, which is not going to be exactly what we listen to, but it's going to be something similar. So here is something that I wrote. The title of the story is "We Shouldn't Have to Live Like This," and but they do live like that. And this is a situation, a story from the United States. So here's a gentleman who is sleeping in the streets. As Mine says, he just has a sleeping bag and perhaps some blankets. Here is a man with some of his possessions, ironing his clothing. This is a shelter that has a locker. A locker is a place with a door, and it is secure where you can leave some of your possessions. So it looks like he's getting ready for work. And here is a couple, and I believe we're going to start reading about them. If you can believe it, they are only in their late 40s and early 50s. But they look very old. They look very elderly. So what I'd like to do is to ask Christian, could you please read this first part for us? Do you see the text on the screen?
Yes, yes, I see the text.
Okay, good. And just a reminder to everyone, you can download the document GWF18 from the verbling.com website. Go ahead, please, Christian.
Tony Ligo and Andrea Meyer have been living under an highway overpass in downtown Baltimore, Maryland, since last year. He's 49 and has been homeless on and off for 8 years. She's 51 and he has been homeless for 10 years.
Yeah, and we say on and off is an expression. So from time to time. And so I think this is the couple. And so, my goodness, he looks a lot older than 49 years old. I'm 49 years old. And so they've spent a long time living on the streets. And this is a highway overpass. And so you can understand that this part here creates a roof. And there is shelter in this area. And so that's a common area for homeless people to live. All right, thank you. And I'm going to go on to Christoph. Please, could you read this next section?
Yeah. Living on the streets has clearly taken a toll on the couple, both physically and mentally. While they're standing at a corner waiting for a free city bus to take them to a soup kitchen, Tony shouts at a passenger staring at them from a car stopped at the light. We're homeless. Tony calls out to the man. Andrea tries to get him to stop, but Tony is on a roll. His anger is palpable.
Mm-hmm. Okay, great. I'll stop you there. So to take a toll, you're saying all those years of living on the streets has had a visible negative impact on them. Taken a toll means to have a negative impact. A soup kitchen is a place where people receive free food, and just air, this part of the word is pronounced air, staring, looking at them. And you can feel his anger. All right. So Tony is very quick to be angry at anyone who is staring at him or looking at him. Wen, could you read this next selection for us, please?
Yeah. You're one paycheck away, he says. That's all they are. And they don't understand. That's all it was for us.
Please continue.
Yeah. A growing number of the nation's homeless are reaching what's called premature old age. They are in their late 40s and 50s, but suffer from ailments, more common for those in their 70s. Many will likely die over the next decade. This has posed a challenge for communities trying to care for the homeless, and could mean hundreds of millions of dollars in added costs. especially for healthcare.
Okay, great. So this is posing a challenge for communities. It is challenging them. It's something that will be difficult to deal with. Ailments are illnesses, diseases and illnesses and medical conditions. And yeah, it's sort of, these people are in their 40s and 50s, but are suffering from diseases of older people and possibly will be dying, many of these people, and in the next decade. So a sort of a form of premature old age. This concept of being one paycheck away from homelessness. Unfortunately, I think it's true that a lot of Americans have a lot of personal debt and they are living from one paycheck to the next. So all they have to do is lose their job, and the next month they will not be able to pay rent and they will be living on the street. So you're that close to being homeless, and that can start people in a negative pattern. And so, Juan, could you read these next two selections of text, please?
Tony and Andrea said bad circumstances and bad decisions send them spiraling from their middle class life and on the streets. My husband died. I screwed up and blame all the money. Andrea says she had that. She was also very sick at the time and could not work. She suffered from Lyme disease, high blood pressure, memory loss, and osteoarthritis.
Okay, good. This is the noun lives. The pronunciation is lives. And I'm just going to turn off my screen share for just 1 second. Spiraling is this. So some bad circumstances and bad decisions sent them spiraling down onto the streets. And so unfortunate. And I'll get that screen share going again. And so she screwed up, meaning she made a huge mistake. But this expression is quite vulgar, so be careful using it. It's quite rude. And I blew all the money, which means she wasted it all. She threw it all away. She spent it all. And so, unfortunately, a bad decision on top of the health problems that she had. All right. And Luis, hello. Where are you connecting from?
Can you hear me?
Yes. But go ahead, Luis. Hello?
Hello.
Yes. Where are you connecting from?
From Mexico.
Okay. And so could you please read some of this text for us, please?
Yep. Tony took care of his mother until she died of multiple sclerosis, and that cost him all of his savings. He says he worked as a cook and locksmith, but when the economy soured, he couldn't get a job.
And please continue.
Okay. Worsening health problems. Now they're homeless. Andrea's physical problems have only gotten worse, and Tony has a building disc. You can see the pain on his face when he hikes a huge duffel bag onto his back. He carries all their essentials, 75 pounds of clothing, toiletries, important documents, and medication. This includes a dozen pill bottles, mostly for Andrea.
Okay, and so unfortunately, Tony spent all of his savings on taking care of his mother until she died. Do people know what a locksmith is?
No.
This is the profession where the people make keys that go into the locks on doors. So they make keys and locks for doors. And when the economy soured, in this context, it means to go bad, like milk that goes bad. Now, he has a bad back. A disc is the structure in between the bones in the back. And so he has a bad back, but still he has to carry a huge bag of their possessions. So clothing, toiletries, which is toothpaste and shampoo, etc., and documents and medication. It's really difficult when you don't have a home. Where do you put your important papers? You have to carry everything with you all day long. Okay, so very sad. Luis, could you please read this next selection of text for us?
Yes, she is also in constant pain and needs to have both of her knees replaced. She walks with a cane she received from another homeless person after hers was stolen. I don't feel safe without it, she says, because my knees buckling, you know. By the end of the day, I'm in excruciating pain. Right now, I'm living on painkillers. Their priority...
Please continue.
Yes. Their priority isn't to get preventive care. It's to make sure there is a roof over their head and food in their stomach.
Okay. And so she has bad knees, and they need to be surgically replaced. She has excruciating pain, which is very bad pain, and her knees buckle where they collapse. And she is living on painkillers. This is an expression where she is taking pain medication all day long, every day. So, but their priority isn't getting good medical care because they can't afford shelter and they can't afford food. So, a very sad situation. Let's continue. Mine?
Hello, I have a computer issue.
Okay. Now, do you have the document or?
Yes, I just opened the document.
So it begins with Yvonne. I don't know how to pronounce that last name.
Which page? Can you tell? Okay, I find it.
Yeah. Okay.
I find it.
Nursing Services Coordinator.
Okay. Ivan Kogura, Nursing Services Coordinator. It might seem unusual for someone who's 51, like Andrea, to be so infirm, but it is extremely common if you are homeless. For those living out on the streets, 50 is old.
Okay, please continue.
Aging prematurely. It ages your premature, says Lizzie Kaliamanoro, Chief Medical Officer at Healthcare for the Homeless, a clinic in Baltimore, like similar clinics across the country. The Baltimore facility is seeing a growing number of older patients as the baby boom generation ages.
Okay, great. All right, now we have some important information, and I hope that people are finding this interesting. We've got a couple of people who live in the United States, so this is good information for you. To be infirm means to be essentially sick and not strong, not physically strong. And so when you're living on the streets, 50 is old. So you're already old if you've been living on the streets and you're 50 years old. And the baby boomer generation is the biggest generation of people that is moving through the American population, and they are getting older. They're getting up into their definitely their 50s and 60s and 70s. And so in general, in the United States and many other countries, the population is the population is aging, it's getting older, and that means higher needs for medical help. All right, and Oscar, you're back just in time. Could you please read these 2 paragraphs for us?
Yeah, okay. Since Kalainaraman?
Please.
From there? Okay.
Yes.
Kalanaira. Sorry, I can read. 1 second, please. Okay.
And again, just remember for the next class, if you can download the document, you can have that, which is much easier to read.
Yeah.
But please go ahead.
Okay, great. Thank you. Kalyanaraman says people health problem only snowball the longer they are outside, which makes treatment more difficult and expensive. If you are on the street, you are about 3 times more likely to have hypertension or cardiovascular disease.
Yes.
You are about 50% more likely to die from it as well, he says. Diabetes, I don't know how to pronounce. Diabetes is more prevalent.
Yeah, good job.
Is more prevalent if you are homeless. It's harder to control.
Great. All right. Now, so just hypertension and diabetes. And when problems snowball, and I think at this point, I'd like to turn off the screen share and, just give people a chance to rest. And so when problems snowball, if you grew up in Canada, you would know this. A snowball, if it's rolling, it grows bigger and bigger and bigger. It starts gathering more and more snow. And so problems get bigger and bigger and bigger if you're living on the streets. So if a problem is snowballing, it's getting bigger. That's something bad. All right, and so I just wanted to get some comments from people about the story, about the situation in your country, and how do you help these people? These are older people. I'm hoping that countries really go in and actively help any families with young children who are on the streets, but I'd like to get a reaction from people, a quick reaction from each participant. So, Christian, do you have a comment to make at this point?
Yes, I don't understand really the subject of this question. I have some comment. Effectively, I think it's the society's choice to let the people in the street, because there is a lot of money in the country, and maybe you can do something to help these people. And sometimes you can do more for these people, and sometimes it's also a choice of these people, and you cannot do something because it's your choice.
Okay, and so it's all a matter of are you going to do something or not, and to give them priority help.
Okay, and my job is there.
Let me move on, Christian. You made some excellent points. But I really agree with your points personally, and you're expressing them well in English. Geoff, go ahead, please.
So I think it's not government problems. So I think it is society's problem, and yeah. To be fair, I didn't do anything before for those people. I mean, homeless people. So, but I think it is our responsibility.
Responsibility.
So
okay, great. So get involved with community groups that are helping people. All right, great. And when do you have a comment at this point?
Yeah, in my country, like, there's no way that people can help. But I read on the magazine that a lot of people they give them money, because normally those people, they are homeless. They only live like they always say in the corner, like they are stationary. So whenever people come, like go by and they see, wow, this is a very poor person. I want to do something for him, and yeah, they give them money.
Oh, okay, so they're asking for money on the streets. Now, do you think
No,
that
no,
this is...
no.
oh, sorry.
They don't ask for money. Like people
okay.
know what they have to do, and they give them money.
Oh, all right. Okay. Okay. So, and do you think that that's a good idea to give people money?
No.
Yeah, at least they have something to survive, because like I said, like most people, they have mental illness, or like they are old and nobody takes care of them.
Oh, okay. All right. Great. Thank you. And then Juan, a comment, please. Hello, Juan.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, please go ahead.
Okay, so the people from the homeless people from my city, they live around the bars usually. So the people from my town usually every month try to help them with try to help them in different ways. Some kind of people like to give them some used clothes.
Okay, good. Used clothes.
Yeah, used clothes. And others try to give them some money sometimes.
Okay.
But I guess this is I think that this is the way that we can we could help them, then others the government need to do something to them.
Okay, right. So, now you say they live near the bars, so are they having problems with alcohol?
Sorry?
You said that they live near the bars.
No, in the parks.
Oh, parks. Oh, okay. All right. So they're living in the parks. Thank you. Luis, a comment from you, please.
Yeah, my little comment is that I think it is a problem from the government and from the citizens, both of us, because, well, I don't know, but the corruption is a lot, and you know, the rich people get richer, and the poor people get with less money. I don't know. I think it's both of us.
So you're saying that the poor people, I'm sorry, what was your point? The rich get richer and the poor
have less money.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right.
I think.
Okay. No, great. Thank you. Luis?
Yes, in Brazil, there is a discussion about to identify the real cause of homeless.
Okay.
Because here there is many situations. There is people who lose their jobs, but there are people who moved off state and can't to get a new job. There are situations of drug addicted, orphans, people force your children to get money. So I think it's important, this reflection, because we can't keep giving money, because in this way you keep the situation.
Yeah.
Okay. Even the charity institution give money, keep the situation. I think you have to create
they're
program.
They're maintaining and continuing the situation, right?
Continuing situation. I think have to create a program that is not only, there is an idiom in Portuguese in Brazil, is not only give a fish, but teach fishing as well. It's more important is to solve this problem.
Okay, good. So to look for the root cause, we use that expression in English, and to solve the problem behind the homelessness. Yeah. Mine, a comment from you, please.
I just realized that I don't have so much information about the Turkish homeless.
Okay, no, that's fine.
I read more American homeless than Turkish homeless. I am
Well, that's what
ashamed
we're
now.
talking about, though.
Yeah. But in my country, homeless means a little bit different, I think. So, first of all, many people don't exist, the homeless people in my country. And also, if you have a child or children should take care of their elderly father and mother. And we have a homeless people age 7, 10 till elderly. But I think most of the homeless people are violent because they use drug and they use alcohol and this kind of the things. And I think people are scared of them. That is the reason.
Okay.
Maybe we don't. I don't
Maybe
know.
that's a reason why we're not helping them.
Yes, and we have a shelter. However, I don't think so. It is enough shelter, especially big city. And I think the small city people help the homeless people. Give food.
Right.
But the big city people are so busy work and their life. That is the reason homeless people you can see in the big city on the street.
Yeah.
And they have a shelter, but I don't think so it's enough. And America is more organized. They have a shelter, they have a charity, they have people to help them. And
right. Okay.
That's it.
Yeah. I mean, the people have more access depending on where they are, though, within the country. Yeah. Great.
It's also
Sorry,
related
Mina,
to
I
economic.
wanted to move on because I've got about 10 minutes left, and I want to play the audio broadcast. So I just want to get a comment from Oscar.
I'm going to be quickly. I think there are two factors that can be included in this discussion because, for example, homeless people can be for external factor. For example, if some people lose their job, I think, but there are some factors that is your personal decision. You are yourself can decide if you are going to consume drugs, if you are going to consume alcohol, or and sometimes there are people that actually make money being homeless. In some part there is a business, yeah. So you have to keep in mind that two factors.
Absolutely. So charities do make money. They're non-profit, but the people who run the corporations get paid good money. And actually begging for money on the streets, asking for money on the streets is a lot of people are suspicious of that in the United States because sometimes people can make good money asking for handouts on the streets. They can make $50, $100 a day. There's actually a comment on the document that I prepared for you about that. Now, what I need everyone to do is to get that document, please. And what we're going to do, I'm going to bring it up on the screen share and bring it down to where the transcript begins. And so I'll try and show the transcript on the screen share. And I'm going to play the podcast. So good luck. This is advanced English, but with the transcript, you should be able to understand a good amount of the English. So good luck.
Many years ago, a Simon and Garfunkel album incorporated the sounds of interviews with senior citizens. A woman on tape said bluntly, "God forgive me." But an old person without money is pathetic.
For some seniors, it's just reality. And we report next on seniors who are homeless.
The homeless population in this country is aging. People stand for hours, they may sleep in the cold, and when they get sick, they may have nowhere to go.
And there's growing alarm about what that means. NPR's Pam Fessler has this report.
It's 4:45 a.m. in downtown Baltimore, Maryland. A chilly 25 degrees out and dark. And there's a rat. There is a rat crossing the street. The first of several that scuttle by as bundled up men with backpacks and duffel bags begin to emerge from an unmarked door next to a parking garage. This is the city's overflow homeless shelter. These men have to be out of here by 5 before office workers start to arrive downtown.
Real coffee today. Pastries.
A few men grab styrofoam cups of black coffee as they head out. It's all they're likely to have for a while.
There's really not much to do until about 7 o'clock when my storage locker opens up. I drop off my night clothes, change.
Paul Baylor's 59. When he smiles into the cold air, you can see that his front teeth are missing. Baylor's been homeless a year and a half after he lost his job as a concert piano tuner.
I lost everything I had.
What's left is stored in rental space for a few bucks a month. No one here likes to carry too much. Things get stolen, and the bags are heavy. Baylor says some days he feels like he's 70.
Haven't got to 80 yet, thank Lord.
How do you feel today?
Sunday I had to put myself in the emergency room for severe tendinitis.
You hear that? The emergency room. It's a frequent destination for the homeless, here and in every city in America. The list of ailments for those living on the streets is long. Blood clots, chronic pain, exposure, diabetes. It's even longer for those in their 50s and 60s, which is old when you're homeless. The life expectancy is only 64. The news is this age group is growing fast. By some estimates, more than half of single homeless adults are 47 or older. And the cost to society for health care, social services is about to mushroom. Some of the homeless men here are now off to their regular jobs as cooks or handymen. Others head to a nearby health clinic, which opens at 7:30.
Yes, how you doing?
About a dozen people have spent the night here, sleeping on the concrete steps. The clinic is something of a safe haven, run by a nonprofit called Healthcare for the Homeless. Everyone gets to come inside, at least for a while.
You have an appointment with the doctor today?
No, ma'am.
You don't have an appointment today?
No, ma'am.
Here, as in similar clinics across the country, a growing percentage of homeless patients are age 50 and over. And Nurse Yvonne Jerrigy says many of them are in pretty bad shape by the time they arrive.
Their priority isn't to get preventive care, it's to, make sure there's a, roof over their head and food in their stomach, and getting the teeth cleaning is not a priority at all. It's until I can't chew because my tooth hurts so bad and the tooth needs to come out. That's when we see them.
Which makes treatment a lot more difficult. And there are other challenges for the homeless. Diabetics have nowhere to refrigerate their insulin. They're not allowed to bring syringes needed for medication into shelters. Medication is often stolen. Those with serious foot and leg problems sometimes can't even get to the doctor.
They are prone to having a lot of foot issues. Plus, it's like their primary mode of transportation.
I can't balance myself. I can't walk well. I'm getting very forgetful.
64-year-old Linwood Hearn and his wife have been homeless for 4 years, sleeping most of that time under the highway across from the clinic. He's fairly typical.
I have prostate cancer. I have a lot of mental problems that's going on with me. I'm a paranoid schizophrenic. I suffer from manic depression.
We're looking at a group of people who are sort of prematurely reaching old age.
Dennis Culhane of the University of Pennsylvania says the growth in the aging homeless population is due largely to one group, younger baby boomers. Those who came of age in the 70s and 80s amid back-to-back recessions and a crack cocaine epidemic. He says they're almost twice as likely as others to be homeless.
These are folks who have been living on the margins, in and out of jail, in and out of shelters, in and out of treatment programs for the last 30, 35 years.
And now they're getting old. Culhane says people are just coming to grips with what that means. A few communities have started to build special housing for the elderly homeless. Baltimore and other cities are trying to get those most likely to die on the streets into permanent supportive housing. But funds are limited. Culhane and other experts say it's going to cost a lot more to do nothing.
It's cheaper to have them in housing than it is to have them be homeless.
This one on Charles and 20th, have y'all tried that one yet? No. The high rise?
But getting housing isn't easy when you have limited means. Tony Simmons, 51 and also homeless, is trying to help Linwood Hearn and his wife find a place to live. Simmons suggests that Hearn check out a nearby subsidized senior complex.
You can actually go in the building and put in an application. And here's a trick. Always look at the mailbox. You see eviction notices, that means apartments are available. It's a bad way to look for it, but that's how I find them.
Like lots of people living in the streets, Hearn has a history marred with mistakes. He was evicted from public housing years ago because he stabbed a neighbor in a fight. It's hard to believe today. He seems so frail. Hearn says he's already served his sentence and shouldn't be condemned to life or maybe even death on the street. Hearn and his wife take me outside.
Take your time, baby.
They want to show me where they slept for much of the past 4 years. Hearn hobbles with his cane across a 4-lane road, breathless as he tries to avoid getting hit by a car. You okay?
I'm with you.
In front of us, under the highway, there are blankets, bags, and mattresses stacked along a cement wall, and a few white buckets used as urinals. About 24 people sleep here every night.
I know it looks terrible, but this was our home. We shouldn't have to live like this.
And with that, he stops and leans over to pick something up off the ground. It's a penny.
Penny a day keeps the doctor away, right?
Is that true?
That's what they say.
Well, what they really say is it's good luck. And maybe it worked. 3 weeks later, Healthcare for the Homeless found Hearn and his wife a new place to live. That leaves the city with about 4,000 other homeless residents. Pam Fessler, NPR News.
Hear about one couple trying to deal with
And hello. Can people hear me? There we go. Okay. And so thank you. Now that was 7 minutes of full-on English. I don't know how well you did, but that is the secret to bringing your brain up to speed to being able to understand real spoken English, and with the transcript and the audio. So great. All right. And just let's get a final quick reaction from people. We've just got 3 minutes left. Wanted to say hello to Angel. Angel, are you there? Hello, Angel. Okay, we don't hear you, Angel. And so a final comment, Christian?
Yes, final comment is finally this problem is the society problem when people work and they don't have money to rent a house. It's not normal.
Mm-hmm. Right, and
That's
so
all.
yeah, okay, no, great. Thank you.
you.
And I'm just going to get a quick comment. So hello, David, but I'm going to get sorry, I'm just going to stay with the students who have been with me for the last hour.
Okay.
We are going to be ending this class in 2 minutes.
Perfect.
So, but have you been watching the class?
In the last 1 minute, just because
okay. All right.
I made my login to Verbling in half an hour ago.
Okay, good. Welcome. You may want to leave this class and try to join the next class.
Okay,
Quinn,
perfect.
A comment from you, please.
From me?
Quinn?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yes, go ahead, please.
Actually, I don't know what to say.
Oh, well, that's all right. You're never pressured into saying anything. Okay, sorry, you've got me. I don't know what to say either. Are you in a secure situation? How are you keeping yourself financially secure?
Yeah, I think we should not overspend. Like if we earn $10, just spend like 7 or 8 or even 5. Like,
Good.
You have to save money for rainy days.
Oh, okay. You need to save money for a rainy day. Juan, a final comment from you, please.
Okay. Well, the story was a little sad, right?
Yes. Well, but a happy ending. The couple found a place to live.
Yeah, I think that the best thing that we can do is try to overcome all the bad situations that we can find in the life. You know what I mean?
Sure. Just keep fighting. And these people have been dealing with hard times for a lot of years, living on the streets for 10 years. That's a lot of time. Dealing with serious medical problems and almost, it's hard to find a job in the United States when you're healthy and young and you've got a good resume. So it's a difficult situation. And everything is so expensive there. Luis, a final comment from you, please.
Yes, I had to answer my phone, but I think the podcast told about how to solve this problem with homeless. But it's talk about that.
Not really. But it just reviewed a couple of people who are trying to help, like a clinic for homeless people that was run by a charity.
Because here in Brazil, last month starts in Rio. The government starts to catch the people on the street, the drug addict, with cracker, and put in these clinics.
Okay.
And
how
can I say? Yes, to treatment, but it's not a volunteer treatment.
Right. Okay.
It's not volunteer treatment.
Forced drug treatment.
Yes.
Yeah.
Forced drug treatment.
No, okay. That's an interesting thing to do for sure. And Mine, a final comment from you, please.
I think we should donate more money for them and try to help, maybe volunteer to their organization.
Sure. Mm-hmm. Well, and just a good, healthy community can afford to help people in need. So, great.
Yeah.
Good point. All right. So, congratulations, all of you, for the work this hour. Thank you so much for your comments. They were great, very well expressed, and bonus, they were interesting too, because this is an English class. And so, thank you, and I'll see you soon. Take care, everyone.
Thank you. Okay.